As you can see, I'm back. I found a different paintbrush image that easily allowed me to select the background and isolate it and desaturate it. So now I have my black and white background, and I have my 1, 2, 3 objects. I am going to use my paintbrush for my primary colors, my paint palette for the secondary colors, my paint splash for the tertiary colors. So I'm going to work mainly in this window for now. And in order to have this as big as it can be so that I can still see the whole thing, I'm going to double click on this hand tool down here. That will force it to fit to the window that I have. So I am going to first, obviously, put my paintbrush on there, but in order to know where it's going to go, I need these rulers up here. This will help me to create guidelines in my image. So if you don't have these, it is just Command R to toggle them on and off. So to do my vertical ruler, I'm going to go over here, click and drag. And since these are 9 by 9, half of 9 is 4.5. So I'm going to drop that at 4.5. This will not print. This is only going to be visible on the screen that we have. Do the same thing for my horizontal one, 4.5, and now I'm ready to go. So I am going to take this image that I have right here, use my magic wand tool by pressing W. I will select the background and the blank space, and then I'm going to hit Command Shift I. That lets me select the inverse. I only have the paintbrush selected now. I'm going to Command C to copy it, and Command V to put it in my document. And now remember to rotate it however I want. I'm going to hit Command T. I'm going to turn this so that it is straight up and down, or as straight up and down as it can get. And then I'm going to hit Enter. Get my select tool and move it. And now as you can see, this is a little too big. I need to make it smaller. So I'm going to, remember, holding Shift, make it a bit shorter so that I can now drag it here. You're going to make sure this bottom square for the resizing is on the middle point of the rulers that you created. That's very important because that's going to help everything else be the right angle when we rotate it. So we have 3 primary colors, which means you're going to need 3 of this first object. I am going to name this layer red, and then I'm going to right click on it, duplicate it, name this one yellow, right click on this, duplicate it, name this one blue. Now, as I'm working with each object, I'm going to turn the other ones off so they don't get in the way. So this one, since it is my red layer, I'm going to make this red, to color overlay. And now I have my blue layer selected. There we go. Color overlay, I want it to be red. It's going to come up with multiply as the automatic one. I like to use overlay or color, and then turn the opacity down a little bit so it's not quite as harsh. Let's turn it down to about 50. This is not going to be necessary on all images. You might find that yours works well at 100% opacity. So I'll click OK. Hide that. Now I want to see my yellow layer. So I'm going to make, oh, I'm still on my right. So make sure that you're actually selecting each layer. It won't do what you're trying to do to the layer that you want to do it on. So to change the color, click here and make sure I find a yellow that I really like. Click OK. I'm going to go to color. See, yellow I like. I'm not going to change the opacity on that at all. And this one I'm going to need to rotate. This is where it comes in handy that we wrote the angles on our color wheel notes that we had. So I'm going to hit Command T to free transform. Change this thing up here to the bottom middle square. That means it's going to rotate around this axis. And that angle for yellow was 120, so I'm going to type 120 in there, and it automatically rotates it for me. I don't need to worry about that. Now I have red and yellow. Next one I'm going to do is blue. Change that. See, and this is too dark. I don't like that, so I'm going to change that as well. There we go. Free transform. This one was negative 120. But you can see I forgot to change the rotation axis. So I'm going to Command Z and try that again. And now I have all three of my primary colors. So check with me, make sure you're all set with this, and then come back and watch the next video for the secondary and tertiary colors.